Hello everyone, Josh here, back today in American Truck Simulator with this rather funky looking truck. It's rather futuristic truck at that. Looks like something out of Back to the Future. I mean, look at it. This is the new Tesla. This is the new Tesla Semi, or Semi if you're from the American part of the world. Well, for American trucks in basically. This is an experimental truck that Tesla are actually currently making, but it's not on the market at the moment. So to have this in game so soon is pretty awesome. I forget now who made it. I've written down a load of notes and I actually didn't write down who made it, which is probably not such a great call. But whatever, it is what it is. Apologies for the lack of content over the last couple of weeks. Basically, I went to record a video, so I recorded a video a couple of weeks ago, and it was all good, all nice, all whatever, and then it wasn't until I got to the actual editing, I realised that my mic had actually blown. Like, the audio was just all grainy, like, not the game audio, the actual microphone audio was just all grainy and distorted, and it was horrific, absolutely horrific. So I went out and bought myself a new headset, so I'm now using the Asus Cerberus V2 headset with obviously with the onboard microphone, which so far seems to be working. This is the first video I've done with this new headset, so we'll see how it goes. And, we'll make any adjustments on audio and stuff as time goes on, I suppose. Well, what are we doing today? Well, we're in San Francisco, California at the moment, and we're going to take this trailer. This is only a basic trailer, you know. It's a first look. I thought let's go basic. And we're going from the Best Buy yard in San Francisco over to Kingsman in Nevada. I think it's Kingsman. Yeah, so we're going over to FedEx in Kingman over in Nevada. I can't actually remember what mod I'm using for the companies, for the delivery companies, but obviously I'll list all of the mods that I have for ATS in the description below. It's considerably less than Euro Truck, so it shouldn't be too hard. What else can I tell you about the truck? It's fully electric, so there's no like just pretending to be electric and it's actually a diesel using default sounds. I've actually got like proper sounds and everything for it. It's fully electric, so this is just raw torque. This is 915 horsepower in this. With a 6-speed gearbox, and I've managed to pick up some damage on the way. I got it repaired before I started the video, but I managed to pick up a bit of damage just from driving it. I can't get used to how wide it is either. It's very, very wide, so that's obviously definitely something to pay attention to as well. But without further ado, and before you actually get bored of my voice, let's crack on with the video. Okay, so here we are in a surprisingly basic truck for such a modern, a basic cab for such a modern truck. You can see it's not a lot, is it? It's just a nice little space. There's one person and there's a little jump seat at the back here. There's like this little jump seat kind of thing, but it's all digital, so I know it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get on with the show. You can see how quick it accelerates. I have barely got my foot down on the pedal, and just nothing seems to be a problem for this thing. So you can hear the electric motors going. It's got quite a cool Jake brake as well. Accelerates unbelievably fast, this thing, but it's so quiet. Like, it's just, I can't get over having a truck that is so quiet, because usually, you know, like last night I was driving the T800 by GTN with and I had like this sound mod, for it. I forget who made the sound mod, but there's that sound mod on the Steam Workshop that like makes all the sounds realistic. And I was using the Cat engine, and I actually had to turn my headphones down. It was roaring that loud when I had it in that like the high rev range. So this is just like polar opposites from what I was doing last night. But, you know, this ton is 14 loads, and it's like beating everything off the lights. Do you reckon we can make that? Just about. But you can also see, look how close I am to the curb, and look how far over I am to the other lane. It's a very wide truck considering it's so small. And you have to watch its speed because it's very easy to get away with itself. Like, unbelievably easy. But this is essentially a first look. I've not driven this for more than from the workshop to pick up this load, so I have no idea what this thing is capable of. But I've absolutely loved it so far. I just love how like all the mirrors are digital, and we'll just take that off. All the mirrors are digital and everything. And I mean, you have to imagine, like, a lot of people say, oh, this is just lots of botched bits of truck put together. Well, yeah, alright, maybe on the left-hand display. Yeah, maybe it is a little bit. But you've got to imagine, this developer has basically pulled off the impossible. He's put something into a game, into a sim, that isn't even made IRL yet. Like, there's only a couple of test models that Tesla are made for, like, obviously testing purposes. Like, alright, granted FedEx and UPS have got some on order, but they're not done yet. Like, they're not done. So he's essentially done the impossible by putting a truck into a game, into a sim, that's not even been made IRL yet. So you've got to imagine, if he's capable of doing this now, or she, because it could be a she, because I don't know who made it. Right. But they, let's want for a better word, they. If they can do this now, then imagine once everything, like the trucks start to go to their operators and their handlers and stuff, and people can actually start getting access to them. Imagine how good this truck could be. Like, this could actually be a future of ATS, as much as it's going to be a future of IRL. 50 is the limit now. And you can see we're having no problems getting to that. So we can go up to 55 now. And we're going to lock in cruise control because this thing is just nightmare to keep at one constant speed. The best we're going to get from the Tesla autopilot system, which is actually fitted this truck. I was reading through the Tesla UK website. I was just sort of made a few notes on it quickly. With an 80, right, 80,000 pound, an 80,000 pound load, this truck could do 0 to 60 in 20 seconds. Like, that is seriously impressive. Like, with an 80,000 pound load on a conventional diesel truck, you'd be lucky to do 60 miles an hour. Like, it's just crazy. You know, it doesn't lose any speed on a 5% gradient hill. And it uses less than 2 kilowatts to the mile. Like, my Hoover uses more than that. Kappa. It's just crazy. I actually think my PC uses more kilowatt to the hour than what this does. I'm actually fairly certain that this Tesla uses less power than what my PC does. That is pretty crazy. But I tell you what, I'm loving this truck. It's such a joy to drive. It handles really well as well, so far. It's just, it's minor key, like, inputs on the steering wheel, and you're getting so far with it. And you got to think, we're hauling appliances and stuff, right? 14 tons of them. Conventional truck, you're in like 6th gear up that hill at like red line. Or if you need to start off of it. This is 0 emission. It's just beautiful. I think my lights are on though. Yeah, they are. We don't need them. But I do like this. There's a lot of potential for this truck in ATS, I'll say that much. Hell of a lot of potential. It's just beautiful. That electric motor, that like motor wind going, is just on point for an electric vehicle. I mean, let's just look. I mean, look at it. It's so cool. So we're coming off here apparently. So we'll take the opportunity to use our quite cool Jake brake. In fact, I'm curious to see how this starts on a hill. Right, so I've got no parking brake. That is impressive. That is something else level impressive. And you have to watch it swing though. Just listen to it. I'm actually driving this forever. I'm never using another mod. The horn's pretty good as well. I tell you what is cool though. Look at the wiper. Look at it. How cool is that? So good. Now there's not a whole bunch of customization options with this. I was expecting, because you have to enable like 4 separate mods. I mean, it all comes in one package, so it's not I've got to download from here, from here, from here, from here. But there's like 4 separate SCS files that you have to enable once you put it in the mod manager. And it's like, considering there was that, I was expecting slightly more options than what I got. But yeah, like usually I go for the only real like things you could change were the like cabin. So you could go for the higher roof one, but I have to say I didn't like that. It just looks very stretched. It looks very, very stretched. So I went for the normal version. It looks cool. It's fine. But I just like how everything's in front of you. Like in the UK, right? We have this rule of when you're on like motorways and stuff. In general, really, but particularly on motorways and bypasses, we have this rule that you're meant to check each one of your mirrors every 6 seconds. So if you're on a car, it's left, rear, right, sort of thing. And every 6 seconds, you're meant to do a scan of your mirrors. I've never personally liked that, because I think by doing that, it actually takes your eyes off the road, because you're looking left to right every 6 seconds, right? That means that you've then got the confliction of the figures that if you take your eyes off the road for a second, you lose a mile of visibility, or something I read the other day. So it's a contradiction, you know. Check your mirrors every 6 seconds, but by the way, you're losing about 6 miles of road while you do that, or about 3 miles, because it takes probably about 3 seconds to do it. So you're losing 3 miles of road while you do it. What? But with this, you don't have to take your eyes off the road at all. You've got everything in front of you. And this is how the dashboard is going to look, according to the images that are on Tesla's website. They're like the graphical drawings that are on Tesla's website, which is, I assume, where this guy's got his, like, designed from is the drawings on the website. This is how the dash is going to look. It's literally these two screens with the mirrors and like the display information and the onboard like sat nav and computers and stuff. So I like it for that exact reason. You're not having to do this and that and that and this and then go like this and then that, and you can see, look, I'm already in the other bloody lane because of it. Like, everything's in front of me, you know, and you've got everything there. It's easy to read. I think it's brilliant, personally. I think Tesla, yet again, have definitely pushed up the boundaries, as they always do. They've done it for years with cars. You know, they've pushed the boundaries of driving a car. You know, with their EAP, their enhanced autopilot system. You know, they've pulled it off with the car, and thus far, I mean, yeah, right, there's been a couple of occasional incidents, but I think that was just down to people acting like complete twats, really, and going, oh, I'm going to be really funny and see if the autopilot system works by standing in front of a car that's going at 60 miles an hour. Like, that's just stupid. That is like, honestly, that's like nth degree stupid. But apart from then the couple of incidents, you know, Tesla seem to have thus far pulled it off, and they've pushed the boundaries of cars for years. Now they're pushing the boundaries of lorries and trucking, because this has now like stepped it up. And once this comes into service, like properly, if this works out, then in my eyes, you're looking at the future of trucking. In my personal opinion, I think that they're going to look at these, and this is going to be something else. Like, you can either have a 300-mile range. They're doing 300-mile variants and 500-mile variants. Now, I'm not being funny, right? But I know 500 miles. You're like, really? I can get 1,000 out of my, you know, diesel truck. But 500 miles, bar 125 miles, right? That's almost the length of England. So if you go for the 500-mile variant, you can almost travel the length of England on a single charge. On one single charge. Okay. And it's at no expense to you, because then all you have to do is just plug your truck in and get more electricity. You know. I know that United States are very much welcoming these. They're already starting to put the like charging points into like stops and like service stations and things like that, into truck stops and whatnot, which is very, very cool. And it's nice to see that something electric is not being dismissed and is being welcomed, right? I've always said, like, I've always been pretty dubious on electric. Okay, so electric cars, I've been like, they're alright, but there's problems, you know, because the batteries don't last very long, and the charges, you know, it takes 13 hours to go from empty to full, and then the range isn't a lot, it's only like 50 miles, and it's stupid, right? Same with buses. I've got electric buses. Stupid idea, because they're so start-stop, they don't last very long, right? But these trucks, right, I never ever thought that I would like something electric. This truck though, Tesla, with their like truck, has definitely changed my opinion on electric. And so much more so driving it in here, in this game. Yeah, alright, admittedly, this is a game, and this is pretty much guesswork at this point in time, I'll admit. But it's definitely a good idea. And as if that fucking copper just nailed me for not doing 15. Look at that. Let's just test this quick. That's crazy. You know? But, yeah, as I was saying, people turn around and go, yeah, but this is not a realistic representation, it's probably going to be bad, no. Yeah, maybe, alright, admittedly, it's in a game, and it's pretty much guesswork, but I can tell you now, I've been on electric vehicles, and, you know, I know how electric vehicles work, you know, I've travelled in them enough time, electric vans and things like that, and I tell you what, they go like shit off a shovel. They are unbelievably quick, so I can well believe this being quite accurate thus far, because of how fast this accelerates, and I know through electric vehicles, they accelerate really fast because you're not using horsepower, you're not using conventional fuel, you're not using a combination of engine power and then gearbox torque. This is just electrical motors, so this is just electricity. So what you're dealing with is raw torque from the gearbox, and this has got like 4,000 Newton meters of torque in this. So you've got just the torque from the gearbox literally propelling you along. That's basically how an electric vehicle works. It's essentially the gearbox doing all the work, really speaking. Are apparently coming off here. Santa Maria. It's a very weird junction. But it sounds so nice. The way it's just, you know, alright, I'm saying the same things over and over again, but I have read a few things. Like, I've been really, like, I only discovered that this truck was even a thing a few days ago. And then, even less than that, like, literally 2 days ago, I discovered that this existed for ATS as well. And that's why, like, instantly I wanted to drive this. I was like, yeah, that's going to be cool to drive. You know? And it is. But, you know, a lot of people are saying it's going to ruin driving. This is going to ruin, like, trucking. You know. No, it's not. It's not going to at all. You know, at the end of the day, yeah, granted, you know, it may not sound as, you know, a diesel truck may sound a lot better, and a diesel truck may be able to do this and that and the other, and it can go further for longer, and no, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, it's a fossil fuel, and it's killing our planet as much as it's going to kill us. Because that fossil fuel will run out eventually. And once it's run out, it's run out. So we have to find new ways of, like, we have to find new ways of powering. And I actually think, not so much in cars or buses, but I think in lorries and trucks, I think electricity is the way of the future. And I actually think this Tesla is the future. Because you think about it, it's got autopilot, granted. But that means that you as a truck driver are less stressed. Therefore, you're going to make less mistakes. Right, like, hear me out, okay? As a lorry driver, you are under an immense amount of stress. You're hauling expensive and heavy loads, and ultimately one mistake could kill someone. You know, one collision with a car or something could kill someone. Okay, and you're bigger than everything else, so you're trying to avoid things like lampposts and everything, and hitting walls and stuff all the time. Your job as a lorry driver is unbelievably stressful. And especially when you're driving on the roads at speeds for long hours as well. You know, I mean, you're on motorways and stuff for most of the day doing upward of 50, 60 mile an hour. Right. You've got the enhanced autopilot. It's doing all of it for you. Now, I can understand where people are coming from, saying it's going to make drivers lazy and it's going to ruin trucking. Yeah, I absolutely get where you're coming from. But you've got to imagine the autopilot is not there to replace the driver. It's there to assist the driver. Because you stand up off the seat, for example, it disengages the autopilot, you know? You don't touch the steering wheel for a certain amount of time, or there's no input on the controls for a certain amount of time. It disengages the autopilot and brings the vehicle to a stop. It's just about as safe as you can get. And that, to me, sums it all up, that it's there to aid the driver. Because at the end of the day, then all the driver's got to concentrate on is still the road ahead, checking your mirrors, and being there in case he has to make evasive action. You know? His job is greatly reduced, and then therefore, because there's less stress, then you're less likely to cock up. You know, even from, taking a last minute turn for an exit that nearly, like, collided with a car or something. Because it happens, because you're so stressed, you're starting to focus on so many things. Like, again, I can see where they're coming from with car driving, saying it's going to ruin car driving. Yeah, to a degree, to a degree, I agree with that, because I think that is going to make car drivers lazy, because they don't really have a responsibility. All their responsibility is to the road users around them, essentially. There's no, like, you know, I'm hauling a 50-ton load that could kill someone. It's just, I like to drive my car, you know? I was about to say ride my bicycle then, that was weird. So yes, when it comes to cars, yeah, to a degree, I reckon it could be bad and it could make them lazy. But lorry driving, no, I think it's the way of the future. I really do. This Tesla is the future of truck driving, and I will say that outright now. Straight away. But it's like, we're doing 55, right? Up here, up this hill. That coach there is going to be losing speed now. Quite a dramatic pace. And last night, okay, so last night I was in the T800, I got a 13 speed and a 500 horsepower engine. It was like 495 or something, okay. I would have been in probably 8th, redlining 8th to get up that hill at any kind of speed. This is just cruising along, it didn't even dip. That means faster deliveries as well, because, you know, you can keep at one constant speed. You're not slowing down going up hills, you can just go for it, you know. That means shorter delivery times as well. And I think this mod has been represented very well. Like, granted it's not much of a first look video, but there's not really much to look at. All there really is to look at is just a sci-fi truck with some wizard electric motors. And yeah, there needs to be work done. I think the modelling does need to be tweaked a bit. I think the displays could do with just a little bit of help. And I'd like to see some more customization options. And I'd like to see the current ones fixed as well. For example, if you want to go to the long wheelbase chassis, you can click it. It will change the price in the workshop, but it won't actually visibly change the truck. So things like that obviously need to be fixed. I think there's still a little bit of tweaking for the sounds as well. I mean, they're a little bit choppy at times. But this game engine was never designed to deal with a truck that could do 0 to 60 in like 20 seconds with an 80,000 pound load. So of course the audio codec is going to struggle. Like, that's just basic knowledge, really. I think this lane is merging. Yeah, it is. Another prime example, diesel lorry up ahead of us, struggling up this hill. And I'm accelerating, and I've literally got a micrometer of the fucking pedal pressed. Crazy. Crazy stuff. The headlights are very good as well, I like that. The only other thing with this mod is the physics, slightly. For example, with electric trucks, what happens is because of the way they work, or sort of electric trucks, just anything electric really, like cars, vans, whatever. The way they work is they go off, obviously, the power is as I said earlier, through the gearbox, through the motors. And you have to have your foot depressed on the accelerator actively for it to produce any kind of power. So what happens is when you take your foot off the accelerator, this should slow down at quite a rapid pace. And it is, but sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, so it's a little bit choppy. But you can see now, I've just changed lane. I didn't need to move my head across to look in the mirrors, nothing. I just look at my monitor. I'm not going to argue with that, you know. A little bit sad it's gone to night time. But ATS looks beautiful. In case anybody's wondering, this is pretty much max graphics. There's a couple of things like shadow quality that is down on medium, just because it's just, you know, that's unnecessary resources. But things like scaling and stuff, it's on max 400% scaling. So this is just about as crisp as you're going to get this sim. Just in case anybody's wondering, as well. Intel i7 8700K, not overclocked. It's at base clock, and GTX 1080 Ti. Again, base clock, and 32 gig DDR4 RAM at 3000 megahertz is my core specs. For those who may be of the wondering. I'd like to know why this car's got no lights on. Look at him, he's got no headlights on. Actually in the wrong lane, Rip. Ooh, what are we doing here then? We're braking for some unknown reason. There's your prime example of what the lorry driver's there for during autopilot. Because as good as the autopilot is, I'm pretty certain it probably wouldn't have been able to deal with that so soon. Here's a good test for it. Look at this. Look at that. It's using the retarder uphill. Look, we've just left that diesel coach behind us. See what I'm saying? We're actually coming off here, so I'm cutting this a little bit close, but whatever. It's just better in every way. That's similar to what I was driving last night. And you can see how it's struggling up. I feel like I'm saying the same things over and over again, but like this mod has genuinely astounded me. I'm absolutely astounded by this. It's absolutely amazing. I wonder if this is in ETS2 as well. I'd love to have a look and see if it is in ETS2, because I can imagine this is with some of the terrain on there, especially on pro mods like in Iceland, things like that. It's I think that'd be quite a good test for this truck. So I'm gonna have a look, see if it's in ETS. If it is, I might do a video again on this in ETS as opposed to AirTS. Let's look outside quickly. Look how future. Look at that. That looks so cool. Oh, I've just paused the game. LOL. Like, here we are. We're coming out again. Oh, what's going on here? Dynamic events. Rip car crash. It's quite cool, the dynamic events. I like that in I like it when they've added that. Like that was good. I'm just literally flooring everything. This is ridiculous now. It's just, hey. Look at us go. It's very easy to damage though, this truck, I have to say. But I was moaning about that earlier before I started recording, that this truck is so easy to damage. And then I'm thinking, well, it's going to be made of very lightweight material. Really, another weigh station. I'm sad. Like, what is it in an ATS with these weigh stations? Like, I know they have weigh stations in America, but I seem to get stopped at every single one. Like, what is this? I can imagine that being a case sometimes. But why? It's just, nah. And this, look, the speed limit, 15. Whilst you're still coming off. It should be like here, it's 15 mile an hour. Like, why is it so soon? Probably all good, which it is. You get to hear the electric motors again now. This will be a good test. I tell you what, yeah, this is good because now we get to see how fast this could accelerate. That's foot flat on the floor. Oh my god! Holy shit! Oh my god! Holy Jesus Christ! Yeah, okay, let's not. Ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely rest my case. I rest my case. I don't need to say any more with that. Like, we've just borne witness to like the safest truck in the world. Look at that plane. Like an F-18 or something. Or is it just like a standard? I think they've tried to do like an A330 or 777, something like that. I think is what they've tried to model there. It's been impossible to tell in the night. See, this is not even using full power up this hill. ATS looks very beautiful in the dark, I have to say. I will say that. Very nice in the dark. Now, I've done this hill many times. This is a steep hill. As you can see, this is a steep, steep hill. I'm officially impressed. Imagine we're almost there now. Yeah, hour 12. Game time, so we're almost there now. Another one in the book for Viva Trucking. How much fuel we've got left? Still got like half a charge. It's pretty impressive. So I think that's probably something they need to work on a bit as well in this mod, is range, because obviously, you know, it's saying on here that I've still got an 837 mile range, and obviously this only goes up to 500 IRL. Chevron. I swear that had the American Airlines logo on it. Design. So obviously that's definitely something they need to... I just want to get in front of this guy, because I know we're coming off soon. So yeah, definitely something they need to change is the range on it. Again, add to that that authenticity, if you will, of this truck. I gotta say though, I'd be absolutely amazed to see what you guys think. So definitely drop a comment below the video. I really would genuinely love to know what you guys think about this, this mod, if you've tried this mod. What do you think about it? And also, what do you think on the concept of the Tesla Semi as well? Do you think it's bad news for trucking? Do you think it's good news for trucking? Do you think it's going to make driving a truck a much better job, or do you think it's going to ruin trucking as a whole? Let me know what you think. I'm very interested to hear on your opinions. Obviously, you now know mine on this. I think it's wonderful. I think it's the best invention ever created since, you know, the start of the motor car. So definitely be very, very interested to see what you guys have to say on that. And then maybe I'll do another video on this, and we'll go through some of the comments, some of the top comments, or whatever. If I actually get that many comments on here, which I don't know if I will or not. It depends how many people are interested in this truck and how many people search on it. But if it actually does get to that point where I get a lot of comments and stuff, then I'll do another video on this, and I'll read through some of the top comments, and because I'm really genuinely curious about this now. I'm definitely going to go and read up on this truck a lot more. I want to follow this development. Limit's now 70, and I bet I can still beat this truck that's going to overtake me. Proof is in the pie, as they say. Here we go. Speed limit of 25 now. And we're already away. Look at that. Literally on the bend, and we're already away. Sounds like a train. Apparently we've discovered Kinmen. I've got none of... I think I said Nevada earlier, didn't I? At the start of the video. I meant to say Arizona. Because the reason I did this one is because I've got none of Arizona discovered. So that was clever of me. See where he wants this. He wants it parked up. Well, this could be an interesting meme. Because I'm unbelievably bad at reversing trailers in. Let's put hazard lights on. Wrong way. This could take quite a few attempts to line up, actually. Rip. Is that the right way? Yes, it is. So that's sometimes what I hate about ATS is they kind of like, if the parking spot was here, then that would be fine. Because I ain't the best in reversing at the best of times. Which is why we're just going to do this. But there we have it. TVs delivered from San Francisco to King Man. I'm just going to screenshot that quickly for Viva Trucking. There we have it. That is the end of today's video. Let's actually make this look nice. There we go. That was an unbelievably fun drive. Sorry that it was a lot of talking in today's video and a lot of just random stuff. It's kind of the thing with first look videos, is kind of a lot of rambling with it, because you're essentially giving your opinions on it and giving your feedback. So there is a lot of talking in first look videos, but yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Back into the swing of things with videos now. You'll be happy to know that I managed to get myself suspended from my job. Lol. So I basically have all the time in the world for videos, so I'm going to get a few up while I still can. So happy days on that. But guys, thank you very, very much for watching. If you have taken the time to watch this video today, much appreciated as always. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button. Press the big red subscribe button. I'd appreciate pressing the bell for notifications as well. That'd mean a lot to me. And as I said, don't forget to drop that comment in about your opinions on the mod if you've tried it, and also what you think on the Tesla Semi as well. Be loving to hear that. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at JoshSteven99, and please feel free to join my also quiet Discord server that I would love to have more people in, so we can definitely have a chat and whatnot as well. Both the links to those will obviously be in description, along with a list of my mods and everything else that you need to know. I'm always open to video requests as well, obviously within reason, and preferably something that I already have. But again, feel free to private message me on Twitter, or feel free to message me on Discord, should you use such a social media platform as that. And I'll be always happy to take your requests, and I'll get to them as soon as is humanely possible. But that is it from me for today's video. From myself, and from this amazing Tesla Model S. No, Tesla Model S, that's a car. What am I doing? From myself and this amazing Tesla Semi, I meant to say. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, goodbye for now.